Hello everyone, and welcome to my Emmerdale Story channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Emmerdale confirms another death as Robert Sugden makes huge decision. Emmerdale's Robert Sugden was forced to make a decision about his future before bad news landed on his doorstep. Emmerdale's Robert Sugden, played by Ryan Hawley, has been left reeling following a shocking death revelation. Fans of the popular ITV soap will recall that Robert made his return to the village earlier this year after being granted parole due to a successful appeal, originally convicted for the murder of Lee Posner. Chris Mockery. New evidence suggested that Lee's death could have been caused by a brain injury inflicted by his own brother. Upon gaining his freedom, Robert attempted to rebuild his former life and even managed to halt Aaron Dingle's, Danny Miller, ill-fated wedding to John Sugden, Oliver Farnworth, who happens to be Robert's half-brother. Robert also revealed that his stint in prison had taken a severe toll on his mental health, although he neglected to mention his marriage to Kev Townsend. Chris Coghill, reports the Daily Star, recently released from prison after serving time for armed robbery. Kev and Robert renewed their vows last week as they began to settle into village life. On Tuesday, November 11th, the newlyweds returned from their honeymoon, with Kev expressing his desire for them to live together, leaving Robert flabbergasted. Will he let Kev move in with him? Robert is under the impression that Kev is suffering from a terminal heart condition and believes that upon Kev's death, he will reignite his relationship with Aaron. However, he is oblivious to the fact that Kev's condition can be controlled with medication, and his demise isn't imminent. Robert later informed Aaron about Kev's grand plans to cohabit and assured him that the situation would soon be sorted, as Victoria Sugden, Isabel Hodgins, would never consent to the new living conditions. He had spoken with his sister beforehand, and when Kev popped by, Victoria made it clear that she had to consider her son, Harry, and that now wasn't the appropriate time for him to move in. However, surprisingly, Kev wasn't fazed by Victoria's remarks, as he had some news to break to Robert. Someone had been killed in prison. As the episode concluded, Robert informed Aaron about the death before admitting he had been harboring a secret. Aaron had been under the impression that his husband, Robert, was incarcerated on the Isle of Wight. However, Robert has now confessed he was transferred back to Houghton during the pandemic. The news prompts Robert to reflect on his time in prison, with a flashback set to air on Wednesday, November 12th, that outlines his romantic relationship with Kev.